Nah, okay. I should need a cup of coffee. I should have had, no, no, I should have had SJ give me a cup of coffee. All right. SmackDown was awesome. You know what? I'm not really, I had not really been not a WWE fan before that, but when things come to town, I try to go. So the producer of WWE's old Philly guy, Temple guy, and so we got down there. Some of our guys, we had a bunch of players there, so it was awesome, fun to see.
What did you get done out there today?
We got a lot done. Um, it was significantly improved by the defense. Disappointed. We put the ball on the ground too much offensively and special teams wise. As you install sometimes and put new plays in, guys start to focus on the plays and not the details and the fundamentals, which is kind of my job. Really happy to get out there and scrimmage in that weather. I told the guys on offense, they're in white. I said, hey, you guys, in your mind, you're at Michigan State late in the year and it's cold. On defense, I told the guys, like, hey, you're playing Iowa at home day after Thanksgiving. So, I'm always trying to cast a vision for, everyone kept asking me if we're going to go inside, we're going to go inside. I said, well, lightning hits, but other than that, we're going to be outside. That's where we play. So I was really happy with their demeanor, the way they attacked it, but just didn't love the fact that the offense put the ball on the ground too many times. A couple times the quarterbacks, a couple times the running backs. Happy that the defense knocked the ball out, though. Special teams, we got some work done. We still have a lot of work to do special teams-wise to get to where we want to be. Had some explosive plays on offense and had some good plays down in the red zone, but overall, I thought the defense was better today than the offense, and the defense was better than it had been the first time, which was good. Our guys on defense are really settling into the system.
Were quarterbacks alive today?
Yeah, quarterbacks were live.
Those kind of issues, where you thought or where you expect you might be with a week left of spring?
I think we're further ahead than I thought we would be. You're definitely further ahead. What I would say to you, Mitch, is again, it's the same thing. Everyone understand, if everything's important, nothing's important, right? So you make an emphasis early on ball security and on taking the ball away, and everyone's doing it at a high level. And then, as coaches, you watch the tape, and this guy's taking this wrong step. You keep correcting all these little things, and you kind of sometimes forget the big things. And so the things that we say really matter. We won't win at the level we want to win if we turn the ball over, and we will win if we don't turn the ball over, and the vice versa on defense. So for this to be scrimmage too, disappointed again in the offense to fumble the ball. Interceptions are part of the game, but fumbles are controllable, and so a lot of people don't have their quarterbacks live in scrimmages, so the quarterback doesn't turn the ball over, doesn't get hit and fumble. So at least we're getting that work done now, but I wouldn't say it's a major thing, just one of my observations for the day.
Any particular place where the big plays are coming from?
Yeah, today they came out of the wideout position. Quarterbacks had some nice runs again. Some scrambles. Jeff Sims had a really long zone read type play. Marcus Washington hit a big touchdown catch. So we had some plays like that. But they weren't. We had some explosive plays, not enough. Our running backs had previously been having a lot. We're really doing a much better job tackling and vicing the ball and keeping the ball in. So, the defense, you can see them really taking a step in terms of how fast they're playing.
Did you feel that the energy from the first scrimmage, because obviously when you have the first scrimmage, guys are excited, did you feel the energy increase, stayed the same, decrease a little bit?
I thought they had great energy. Comparing it to the last one, I don't know that I can do that. I thought they had great energy. There was, a lot of people there today. I mean, the governor, walked out and talked to the team before practice. I mean, that's pretty. You don't get that many places, but you get that at Nebraska. So, I think they had good energy today. I think they were excited to go. I think they were excited for the scrimmage. Yes, I was pleased.
How did you come up today from a health standpoint?
Yeah, we had two guys that got banged up during the scrimmage. It looked like Judy got hurt early on. The late John, Goodwin got hurt later on, but nothing. I don't think that's major. It looked like they rolled their ankles, so came out of it, I think, pretty healthy. Unless something comes up to tonight or something. Sorry.
Any other injury updates?
I don't. Everyone that's been out still kind of out. We've had nothing really major. We've got some guys that are banged up. We have a lot of a couple guys that I'm sure if we were playing a game this week would have had Ben Scott probably available. Would have had A.J. Allen close to available. I think a lot of those guys will trend to be back this week. Blaze Gunnarson's been back practicing with us, which is good. He's a player I'm really excited about. I like what he does. So I think we're in a good space.
The stuff that you mentioned about specialties and needing to be, or wanting them farther along, was that mainly related to, again, ball security, or where do you feel like overall as a specialties group you are?
Yeah, and I'll make sure I couch what I said. I'm not saying that we're not where I thought we would be. I'm just saying we have a long way to go to get there. You know, I think Ed's done a really nice job. The way we look at special teams is it's we try to teach a lot of fundamentals that carry over to other positions. So a lot of this time of the year, we're working 4 or 5 groups, and we're working a lot of different, techniques and fundamentals. So I'm happy with where we are. I just expect us to be a really good special teams unit. I think it's one of our opportunities to be successful. I think we have a lot of fast guys. I think we have a lot of guys we have a lot of pro football players. Guys want to be pro football players who can be, and so I'm going to expect that they can contribute on special teams. I think the biggest thing is just our field goal operation. We have to continue to hone that and work that so we're consistent in field goals. And then, we believe that we should be one of the best blocking kick teams in the country. We're not getting our hands on enough right now. But the overall system and fundamentals, I'm pleased with. It's just the consistency of it. It's going to take a while, I think. Just getting all these different people on the same page.
Matt, spring game is 1 week away. What do you hope to get accomplished over the next 2 practices leading up to the Red Wing?
Yeah, I mean, I talked about the spring game today with the guys. I just want to make sure they understand that this is not a show. Like this is, I watched some other spring games on TV. They're kind of like a show, or they're kind of like a whatever. This is not a show. Like I expect them to get better all the way till whatever time the spring game is, however long. If we practice for an hour, we practice for 4 hours. Whenever that's over, that's when they can relax. And that's when the coaches can relax. I expect us to go out there and accelerate. Put our foot on the gas pedal this entire week. And I'm kind of one of those guys. I always have themes, and so just trying to push these themes on the guys of just like continuously grinding. It's a very happy place. We have a great fan base. We have great everything, and I just want to make sure they understand that we're 4-8. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a negative thing. We have to earn the right to say that we're a good team, and we have to fight to be a good team. It's like, I tell the guys sometimes the hardest thing in the world to do is to stay the heavyweight champion. You fight and grind to get there. You're so hungry to get there. Sometimes when you get there, you relax. I don't want our guys relaxing, and I don't want our staff relaxing, whether that's recruiting, whether that's football. I think sometimes we have a tendency to be like, oh, well, things are going to be better now. No, you got to make them better. You have to fight. Like we're not a great team yet. So I want us to be a great team, and they want to be a great team. So I'm just like, that's my message is like, man, go upstairs, have some barbecue, go home, enjoy your weekend, go to church tomorrow, do what you do, get your schoolwork done, but find a way to work on some football too, and then come in Monday. So this week is not like, hey, the spring game's almost here. I expect us to, this should be our best week of practice and our best week coaching-wise. I expect our coaches to work harder this week than they have because we're always trying to get a little bit better every day. So that's an important message, I think, for our team.
Do you see them growing in that mindset that the more you talk to them about it and as you've been with this?
Yeah, this group's awesome. Yeah, they're. I mean, it's really hard to buy into a new coach. They can. It's just really hard, right? Because you haven't seen it work. So how do they know what I'm asking them to do is going to work? They don't know that. So it's just these are the teams that I always love, right? Like this is like. Hopefully, I'm here for a long time, and I look back like I coached all these guys. I love 2 sets of things. I love the players who buy into what we're asking them to do without any evidence of it working, and I love the recruits who commit to us before we're successful. Those 2 guys always have a special place in my heart, right? Like Jalen Petrie, I don't mean to talk about him in school, but Jalen Petrie was the lone commit at Baylor when I got there, and he stayed committed to us. And he played for us for 2 years, and then redshirted as a junior. I think he led the NFL rookies this year with like 150 tackles or whatever it was and interceptions. He has a special place in my heart because he believed in us when no one else did. And so I really appreciate these guys. They're trying so hard. Like with all of our craziness, you get into a fight in the scrimmage, and they've got guys running the stadium steps like in the middle of a scrimmage, and they're like, "Okay, coach," they just do it, man. They're awesome. But we got to get better too. So whereas I hear other schools talking about they can't wait for today, the transfer portal, they can't wait to go out. I can't wait to coach my guys. Let me tell you that. Like I'm not thinking about anybody else other than this team that's out here. So I appreciate them. They're trying really hard to do all that. There's just a lot of work to be done, but we're way ahead of where I thought we would be. I want to make sure. Sometimes I say things I think people hear it. I'm so fired up with where we are. Like we're in a great place. It's just not. I want to win a bunch of games, and they want to win a bunch of games. So we just have to keep accelerating, man.
Not to overhype it just because you said he made a play, but Mark is watching it. What have you seen about him this spring?
Yeah, I think Marcus is just really a tough guy. He's really a smart football player, and he wants to be good. He just, I'm probably like the fourth head coach he's played for, maybe 3 or 4. And you guys could probably do them. I mean, I don't know if he played for 2 guys at Texas or 1, and played for Coach Frost, Coach Joseph, me, maybe 5, right? I don't know how many different receiver coaches he's played for. So, that's why when I talk about recruiting, I always talk about the stability. I talk about our coaching staff stability. Like, stability breeds success. But I do feel like Marcus is one of those guys who really wants to buy into what we're doing, and he wants to be a part of it. But I love his skill set as a football player. I mean, he can catch the ball. He's physical. Like, he had a long touchdown, but he made a great block on a counter. He cracked the safety, and we had a nice run. He's not one of those guys who's a diva. He's a tough guy, and so if we can just bring him along in the passing game and in the run game and special teams wise, I think he'll have a future in the game.
A.J. Rollins moving positions. What about his skill set made him well suited for that, and how have you seen him progress defensively?
I think some guys are just, lots of guys can do both. Some guys are just wired to play defense. They're just kind of like, they're better when they're going straight ahead, And I like AJ's length. He's got, he's a big, tall kid, long kid. He's got power. He's got a natural pass rusher. Some of those guys who've played basketball, when you play basketball, you know how your feet move all the time. Great pass rushers, their hands and feet never stop moving. And so AJ has just a natural feel for rushing the passer, runs to the ball, athletic. And I think, playing on offense, he's good. He can play for us at tight end, but he's just very much, okay, I have this assignment. On defense, you get to see him cut loose. Now you're starting to see his personality come forward. So, we've got a nice group of young defensive linemen. Brody Tagaloa's out there playing right now. We moved both those guys from tight end to D-line. And I think those guys will really develop into good players.
As much as you learned about the team in the first few weeks of practice, what's something else even in this next week that you're still curious about?
Yeah, I think the big thing is, I think there's 2 things. Let me say this. I'm anxious to see if they will completely, and I'm probably by me saying this, I'm giving it away, and then they'll do it. But I really want us to be I want them to be the type of team that when I go to a game, in the spring game in Nebraska is like like today was about as many people as I've had at most spring games, right? So I've coached, and so like the spring game here is like a game at most places. So I just really want us to be the same guys on game day as we are at practice, right? And so that can go twofold. Like all of a sudden game day shows up and guys are wearing completely different stuff, and it's all about the show, and then you're kind of front runnerish, Or you get to the game and you kind of pause a little bit. You don't play with as much confidence because there's a lot riding on it. I want us to be the type of guys that show up on game day, man, and it's just like a Tuesday, Wednesday practice, and we fly around and we do what we do. And so I think that's one thing. And I think football-wise, we have to continue to accelerate our situational awareness, man. Like we're putting them in a lot of situations. Like we finished today. It was, I forget what it was, Keith. It was like 9 seconds, balls on the 9, no timeouts, you're down 4, and like they're having to process that real quickly. Like, okay, like how many downs do I have? I have 2 downs, and then we didn't score, and then we had a guy on defense punch a guy on offense, and then it was a flag, right? So, and I won't say who it was, but that happened, right? And so it's not real cool, and I'm not the cool guy, like because the defense thinks they won. I'm like, no, untimed down, right? And I scream at the defense, and I make them run a gas, or the coaches too, and they go sit on the sideline, and then there's 1 play left, and Jeff scrambles around, he hits someone, Marcus, I think, in the end zone for touchdown. And I told the offense, if you score, run right in the locker room. They run right in the locker room, and the defense has to stand there, right? Well, the defense won the day. Right, the defense won the whole scrimmage, but at the end of the day, you know what they did? They didn't make the play at the end to win it, right? And it wasn't anything physical; it was just mental. Our awareness of the situation, our awareness of doing the right thing, and so I believe that good teams do good things and bad teams do bad things. And most of the world believes good teams have good players and bad teams have bad players. Well, good players do good things, but we have a bunch of talented guys. I just got to keep bringing them along situationally, like where they get, because we're going to be in games this year, man. It's going to come down to the very end. And I don't want our heart rates going through the roof like we're so nervous. I want us to have been there 100 times. So the situational football this week I think can be really fun. I went and practiced against Coach Belichick and saw the way he did it, and so I stole that from him. And so I do it with the guys and just keep throwing different situations at them at different times. And the coaches can barely hear it, and the players are having to communicate to the coaches. So that's a long, long, long answer. But as I told them, I'm kind of a geek, man. I don't have much of a life outside of my family, and I like good food and good restaurants and football. So I literally all I want to do is talk about 6 seconds left. Can you get the ball from the 4? Can you get 2 plays? Can you get 1 play? So I have some guys like Casey Thompson standing next to me, and he's just like loving talking with me about the football, right? And so that culture can lead to winning. So this is a really big week for that. Because one night, sorry, Keith, I'm going so long.
You're good.
Right. I can always feel you're like, Matt, shut up. The NCAA says 3 days have to be in helmets. So the Thursday before the spring game's always in helmets. Most people use that as like a waste day, right? Well, I'm going to see if I can get us under the lights with the class schedules if possible, but it'll be all situations. We did that a little bit of that last Thursday. It was all different 2-minute, 1-minute situations. And it's not really about winning it. It's about just having guys identified. So this is a huge week for us, right? And what we do that's really cool is it's great to have guys like Sat and Tony as we go in afterwards and we're like, all right, well, 4 seconds left. We called this blitz, or what do we think? Well, I don't have all the answers. We literally watch it and we all talk about it. Like, should we do this? Should we have played 3-man rush? So I kind of nerd out this week a little bit because it's all situational football. And that's why I say we're ahead, because most times I can't usually do this the first year until preseason. And they really don't get it till the second preseason. And these guys get it. It's a credit to their previous coaches that they, or either at high school, the staff that was here before where they were, that these guys understand football.
When will you make a decision on pregame format then?
Spring game?
The format?
Yeah, I want to play. I want to play ones versus. I want to play red versus white. The only way I'll change that is if I have like 7 offensive linemen, right? So I'll probably, they have they're going to have the new running clock rules in the NCAA, so I might run the clock like on first downs, not stop the clock to cut the plays. So, but I want to play a game. What I really want to do is have the teams and be like, hey, you're calling the plays for this team, you're calling the plays for this team, and then have them like compete against each other, like game plan each other, compete against each other. Like if I tell these guys like let's go run 10 half gassers, 10 40-yard dashes, they'll complain. If I say I want to see who the fastest guy is, they'll run 30 to prove that they're the fastest guy. So they love competition. So I'd like to have this be a competition next week. So I'm planning on it being like, that versus that. What I will say is I see a lot of people like they'll put their one offense and one defense on one team, and they go against the twos. And I want my one offense going against my one defense. I want iron sharpening iron. I want my 2 offense going against my 2 defense. So I'll probably put the 1 offense with the 2 defense on one team, the 1 defense with the 2 offense. So that way they're always going against similar groups. So it's a long, long, long answer to say I hope we can do that. Only way I'll change it is if we were to have like 7 or 8 O linemen available, I'd have to put them in like a different color jersey and still do the same thing with these guys, but probably have them just rotate as an O line.